What's the team looking like?
They're doing good. We're still making too many mistakes, things that we need to eliminate before the first game. But their effort's good. They're competitive. They're emotionally charged. All that's really good. We just got to cut down on critical errors.
What kind of mistakes are those?
Just different things. We got to do a good job taking care of the ball. Got to do a job being in gaps. I mean, nothing that really would be abnormal. But I would like to see some of those things go away.
Is Ollie okay? With the rumor mill has him on his deathbed.
I would never answer on any injuries. Nobody knows about anybody's injuries in the camp but me. I would never do that.
In general, without specifics, is it, health-wise, is the team holding up all right?
They're doing great. We're rolling. Coaches are tired, but the players are doing good.
Why are you guys kicking off at 1 p.m. against South Dakota State when you could have picked your kick time if you wanted to?
I don't know. You have to ask somebody else.
Seemed like a head coach could have a say in that.
Not much. I didn't have a say in a lot of these things. The contracts with these postseason games were mainly done by other people, not me. I just agreed to certain ones of them, but I don't really have a lot to do with all those things.
Is that going to be, how much of a challenge is that going to be to have a 1 o'clock kick on a day that it could be like today? It could be as hot as could be.
Well, there'll be afternoon games all across the country, and it's part of it during this time of year. The way that the warming trend is now, really, I just talked to the team the other day. You're going to get about 6 games that are going to be like this. Used to be 2 or 3, but we play games that are extremely warm all the way up into October now. So guys have to get used to it, and they have to learn to practice outside and be prepared to play in the heat.
Do you think they're more able to do that now maybe than they were, just because this is kind of the norm in our state?
I don't know if anybody ever really gets used to it. But I think somebody told me that our other games are, we don't have a night game for a long time. So they got to get adjusted and get ready to play in the heat.
Talk about Coach Snyder and the kicking game. How's that been going?
Good. It's been an interesting concept and very good experience for me to watch. And most of what we've done will stay the course, but then there's some things that he wanted to do that we've changed a little bit. But it's been a really good learning experience for me.
And some of the players have talked about how he had, like you said earlier before media day, he's been really good with helping guys on technique and getting a little more out of what they're doing.
Yeah, we brought him in here because he understands the actual integral, fundamental part of punting and kicking, and so he's been valuable to our team for that reason.
Between him and Joseph Fote now being able to actually coach on the field, has that freed up some of your other assistants that were doing extra help with special teams, or are they still involved there?
They're still involved. Yeah, we've just added other coaches, and so we have more guys coaching each unit than we did in the past. But the guys that were initially coaching those units are still coaching those units.
You said last week that practice kind of didn't go the way you planned on Saturday, so how has this week kind of looked?
Well, just what I said earlier, everything's been good. We have to get to a point middle of next week where we're reducing critical errors and mistakes and playing really good fundamental football.
How has Lyric looked, and how have you sort of seen him battle his way back from the injury?
He's doing well. He's much better now than he was 2 weeks ago, and I would say that should continue on. 2 weeks from now, he should even be better. Middle of October, if he stays healthy, he should be somewhere where he was before he was injured. Takes a little bit of time, but he's coming along. His competitive nature is really good.
What have you noticed from Justin Kirkland from year 1 to year 2?
Justin's in better physical condition. He understands competition at this level and the continuous grind every day. And that's different from what it was again last year. It's not something you can just come in and learn. You have to go through it to understand.
Now that you've had the pads on for a little bit this fall, what have you thought about the defense in year 2?
It's the same. I mean, they're doing well. They're tackling better now than they were at this time last year. That's something that we've stressed. We got to get guys down. It's challenging going against our offense. There's a lot of experience out there, but every day they're getting a little better.
Mike, your offensive line, you've got so much experience. You've really got more than 5 returning starters. Is there a sense of who your starting 5 is and just how much you could use all those guys that have experience?
He's rolling 7 guys in right now. We have 8 that have played, 8 has gotten in some, but really he's rolling 7 guys with those 5 spots.
Is that realistic to continue to roll that many during games?
It should be, yeah.
Okay.
Guys are playing good and keep guys fresh. It should give us an opportunity to get guys off the field for a drive or two. And, I said this, in fact, you mentioned that playing at 1 o'clock at 320 pounds is a struggle. You set out, if you can set out for 12 minutes, because a defensive series, and if you set an offensive series before you come back, it's a big deal.
What about your defensive line? What's the expectation there as far as how many guys you could use in your rotation on?
Comfortably 7 to 8. Got quite a few guys that'll play.
Do you have a sense of starters yet on D-line?
He's been rotating them in pretty good. Kirkland and Clay have been working inside a lot, and Walter Sheed. Oates is having a good camp. He's in there a lot. In certain personnel groupings, Colin plays the edge. So really he's working about 7 guys.
How's Aiden Kelly looked in camp? He's getting to be a bit of a veteran guy that just hadn't played.
Yeah, he's getting quite a bit of work also. He's rotating in. He should be in a position, if he finishes camp out strong, he should be in a position to play in the first game. You can tell who the flies like me and you, sweet people. Like it's just they're on me and you. They're not on anybody else.
Because I'm sweating.
That could be true.
What's the quarterback competition looking like between Zane, Garrett, and the rest of the group?
They're all doing good. I mean, Bowman's further ahead. It's based on the game experience that he got last year. And Rangel and Zane are all working with the ones, so they're getting good quality reps.
How would you evaluate the depth of your defense compared to the typical year?
We're deeper up front than we have been in that box area. We're probably a half man deeper at safety, about the same at corner.
How do you feel in general about your depth at corner? 'Cause you got 3 guys with a decent amount of
Yeah,
experience.
we're half man deep. We don't have 4. We got probably 3.5. Depends if we get a young guy ready to play. But that's a position that you're really not wanting to throw a young guy out there early in the year.
What about a linebacker? How's that looking?
They're doing good. Yeah, I mean we've got quite a few guys that are playing that spot and they're doing well. And Justin Wright's back in there trying to feel his way through, kind of like Lyric, working his way back into it. And the other guys are getting good quality reps. We have decent depth at that spot.
Would have thought last year that Justin would have played a similar role to Nick. Do you move him around in different spots just because of how good Nick was last year?
We haven't done that yet because he didn't really practice in the spring. So we're just trying to get him locked in on one spot and solidify that and his alignment and fundamentals in that particular position.
Mike, it's a crazy year with the new conference and the 12-team playoff.
Mm-hmm.
You've been around a long time. Do you get juiced when something new happens?
All this is pretty intriguing right now. I think it's going to change again in less than 2 years, but it is what it is for now. It's very intriguing. Same thing I mentioned the other day. Everybody's waiting to see if she signs off on this settlement, and then we'll have parameters, and then we can start attacking. How do you distribute $20 million amongst 105 people? So it's very interesting to even think about that. Almost unfathomable, but that part is intriguing and somewhat fun to think of different ways you can do it. But right now we're just kind of riding the wave to see if she settles off on that settlement. And the good news is for the next 5 months we can just play football.
But I guess that's my question. All the money stuff and NIL and all that.
Now,
It's interesting and all that, but if you
Well, I
don't
told
care
the
about that,
players.
you can just
there's no negotiating now. Portal's over.
Right, you can
All
enjoy-
negotiations history. Now we're playing football.
enjoy
Just
this
coaching
crazy
playing
new
football.
conference and a 12-team playoff and everything being so different and just the newness of it all.
Yeah, and the business side of what we do now is we have to have those conversations with them. Tell your agent to quit calling us and asking for more money. It's non-negotiable now. Start again in December. So now we're able to direct ourselves just at football, and that part is fun because there's been so much other stuff going on. It's been hard to really focus on football.
Mike, you've talked about South Dakota State and their winning streak, the success.
Mhm.
But as you've watched them and sort of started to evaluate, what stands out just about the X's and O's, the team you're expecting to see in this?
Well, they're physical, they're tough, they're not out of place much, they're very well coached. The point spread they went through last year was huge. They're very capable of playing a Power 4 conference schedule, I'll put it that way. And as I said earlier, teams that haven't lost a game in a long time are difficult to play because they don't know how to lose. All they've ever done is won. So you have to take the game away from them. They're not going to give you the game.
The fact that you said they really don't beat themselves, are not in position very much, which you said. Does that sort of change some of the things you have to tell your guys in an opener, like mind your P's and Q's maybe even differently than other openers?
Well, they know.
Okay.
I started telling them in January and then told them again in the spring and told them again before we started practice. They're very aware of who this team is and they're very aware of the success they've had and they've watched tape on them. So the good news for us and me as coaches is when they watch them on video, they can see that, yeah, Coach Gundy's not BSing us. This deal's legit. They have enough players, you know, they're physical enough in the box to play at this level, okay? And they have a very experienced quarterback, a playmaker. So it's a dangerous challenge for us.
I've never been to South Dakota. Been to 45 states, not South Dakota. You ever been?
I've been to 50 states.
You've been to all of them?
All of them.
What do you remember about South Dakota?
Driving through there and going pheasant hunting, and then I drove through there one time when I was going fishing in Canada. That's all I remember.
Hey guys, last one for Coach. We gotta get to the players so we can get to the cold tub.
I'd like to go to that Harley Davidson deal though. Like go there and just set on them.
Sturgis.
Yeah, I don't care to drive one. They scare me. I don't want to drive one on the road, but I like to just go sit on them and drink beer with them. I think that'd be fun. But
So you fly there and then just sit around and-
yeah, I fly there and just go sit on Harleys and act like it's mine. Can y'all trailer this in and I'll just set it? They park outside of bars and stuff. That'd be a blast. I mean, so.
Thanks guys, appreciate it.